Hey, you guys. So I think I'm going live. Yep. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was actually going live. This new Facebook system is a little different. So, welcome to tea time. I'm here. I have a little cup of tea. This is in a mug I hardly ever use, but it's one of my favorites. Um, and I decided I was going to use one of my favorites for tea time. I'm hoping to come and do this weekly. Next week I'm going to do another Q&A session. I did one last week, but next week I'll do a Q&A session, and then I'll follow that up again on another Thursday with tea time. Today I want to talk a little bit about the season change and how you can use this opportunity to change up the energy in your space, and how you can kind of tap into that season change to support you a little bit better. We're going to talk a little bit about the new moon too, and how that will influence things. It's going to be quick, so I have a call at 11:30 today, and I'll probably jump off here at about 11:20 so that I can get myself ready for that. And but in the meantime, if there is time for questions, I will be happy to I'll let you ask them in the comments. So I'll let you know about that. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Kerri Miller. I'm the founder of Feng Shui Pathways. You can find me at kerrimillerconsulting.com, and Feng Shui is my thing. I've been doing Feng Shui in my own life for about 20 years in my own life, and working with clients for about 15 years, and I love what I do. I feel like it's my mission to show, especially women, how to set up their surroundings so that they are more supportive, to help them live a more joyful and prosperous and energized life. I think if you're feeling depleted or depressed, your surroundings could be playing a lot into that. The energy around you is probably playing a lot into that feeling or that energy that you're stuck in. So today I want to talk about the seasons. I posted the other day about how I just this past weekend took some time to do some seasonal decorating for autumn. Here in the northern hemisphere, we're going into autumn, and so I put some little pumpkins up and decorated the outside, and it was so good to do. I have not decorated, I usually do try to decorate, or at least put a few decorations up for some of the major holidays. I'll explain why I do that and why I think that's important to do in a few minutes. But I usually do, Valentine's Day, sometimes St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, and then heading into Halloween and Christmas for sure. I do a lot more. Autumn is definitely my favorite season for decorating, and so I really was glad to be able to do that. My house was very neglected since last winter. After Christmas, I think I put up a few quick Valentine's decorations. I never quite finished that process. My father got sick in late January, and it was a very long illness, and he has passed. My family has been sort of healing and clearing and taking care of his things for the last few months. And so this house where I am did not get a lot of attention or love. Also, of course, COVID happened, and so, kind of in the middle of that mix, the kids came home and my husband came home, and everybody's been here a tremendous amount more time each week than usual, and so there's been a lot of other demands. But for me personally, the pandemic and the quarantine really took a back burner to the other things, and that was just something that we just dealt with. And I'm really proud. I think we did really good with the homeschooling and the bringing Steve home to work. I, in particular, am a person who loves my quiet time. I really thrive on the days that they go off to the office or to school, and I get to do my thing in my own energy. And that's kind of been taken away, and I've done okay with that, which is quite amazing to me. And that just shows me that we've done some really good things with the energy in our own house, and also shows me that I've done a good job working on myself and supporting myself through this time, which I think is important. Hopefully you're doing that too and finding a way to do that. So anyway, seasonal decorating, I did it this weekend and it felt so good. It was like amazing to do that. And what I want you to know is that that is just, it's a simple feng shui shift that you can do. Like just take a few things away that don't represent the season that you're going into anymore and put a few things up that do honor the season that you're moving into, and it will shift the energy instantly. It's a simple shift, maybe not a Christmas time. Christmas time might be a little bit more of a heavy duty decorating if you're into the season. But just change a few things up, and it doesn't have to be a stressful thing. I have a few key points. I decorated the mantle, I decorated the top of our buffet, and then I put some decorations outside. So this is not, I don't have, 700 boxes for each holiday. I know a lot of people do that, and if you thrive on that, then sure, go ahead and do that. But I don't have the time or the energy for those things. But I really do appreciate having a focal point to center my attention on, and I love having the fresh energy in the space, and it makes a difference even if you just place a few things out that remind you, and then that signify the shifting energy of the season. One of the big things about bringing decorations into the season is that they're, they're a feng shui cure in themselves, right? So in the winter or in the fall, we're heading into this quieter time where it's colder and darker. And by bringing in, and it's colder and darker, and there's not as much growth and vibrancy and flowers and other things. And so when you bring in fall decorations like pumpkins and pine cones, it's really symbolic of bringing in that abundance and honoring the abundance that is starting to wane and starting to go away. And even as we get deeper into the winter season where it's just cold and dark, all those Christmas lights and those holiday colors really are bringing some fire energy in that we're missing because the sun is not bringing the fire energy to us. So it's a really powerful feng shui cure to really shift the energy of the underlying energy of your space and counteract the harshness that seasons can bring with them. And if you're in the southern hemisphere and you're heading into summer and long days and hot days, bringing in some of those beach elements and those beachy blues and those cool sandy colors and some things that really cool the space down, again, is counteracting that season that you're going into, which can be a little bit hot and humid and muggy. And it's a way to balance the energy within your own home so that it feels a little bit more balanced when there are extremes going on outside. It makes it a little bit more tolerable. So I really want you to think that through as you're putting decorations out. I have been in times in my life where putting decorations up felt like a real chore and another thing to do on my list. And to be honest, that's a signal to me that I'm not prioritizing things right. So if you're feeling like, I don't want to decorate, I don't have time to do that, think of it this way. It's kind of like putting on a nice dress. It's if you think of your home as an extension of you and your energy, which it absolutely is, when you take the time to dress it up a little bit, you're really taking the time to dress up yourself and your own energy. So it's like putting on a nice necklace or putting lipstick on before you go out for an event. It's kind of like self-care if you can switch your perspective up on it. So hopefully if you can, one of my big messages, especially to women who feel like their house is heavy and a chore and they can't get ahead of it and they feel kind of overwhelmed by it all, is that if you can change your perspective on it and realizes that it is a part of you, it's a piece of you, and if you're not taking care of it and not appreciating it and feeling overwhelmed by it, it's a reflection of something that's going on within you, and it's a sign that you might need a little bit more love and a little bit more self-care. And sometimes those, I like to look at decorating as like part of a ritual. It's very ritualistic to purposely and intentionally take care of me, take care of my home, change up the energy, and celebrate the seasons and the things that are going on. It does take energy, it does take effort, and it does take time. But it's when you appreciate and really put the energy into that you get, when you take the time to put that energy and effort in, you get stuff back. Like, it energizes you back. And so hopefully that helps you make that turn if you're feeling like it's not worth it to decorate or too much to keep up with. I also think the seasons are a great time to reflect on what's working and what's not working. Here in the Northeast, at least, of the United States, we have 4 seasons for sure, and we have to change out clothes and other things. So it's a great opportunity. This is a time that my kids and we use this as a chance to really look at the things that we have in our closet and the things that we're holding on to and decide whether or not we still need it. So it's a great opportunity to reflect and look around you and see what needs to change along with the season itself. We usually do a little bit of purging, especially in the fall and in the spring, and maybe even a little bit of shopping and replacing if we need to afterwards. This is off topic, but I went through my Facebook memories today and noted that it has been 15 years. 15 years ago today, my husband Steve and I packed up our home in Southern California, and everything was in a truck, and the truck had already gone, and we packed the rest of the stuff up in our car and drove across country. All of our life, we made that transition 15 years ago. And I was thinking about that and thinking about this big, huge truck full of stuff that we filled from our house. And I looked through my house today, and literally there is practically nothing that is left from that move that we still own from that move. I think a mattress, and we're actually just about to get a new mattress to be delivered shortly. So our mattress is probably one of the few pieces of large furniture that we still have from that first house of ours. So I just think it's like, think about, evolution and change. I'm a big person for evolving and changing my space along with how I'm evolving and changing. And so the seasons are always a good time to do that. And it doesn't mean that you can't repurpose things or use things differently. We definitely still have a lot of the decorative items, but the furnishings have changed over quite a bit, probably because they haven't fit in the same way into new homes and things like that. So that's off topic, but a good way to think about it, the season change, I definitely, at the end of every year, I do that reflection and think about what do I want to call in for the new year. But if you do it seasonally too, it's really powerful. And so this Friday is actually a new moon. It's a new moon in Libra. New moons come around once a month or so, sometimes more. Full moons come around once a month or so, sometimes more. And they are another season that you can follow. And I like to do this. It's kind of following nature or taking cues from nature. That's what Feng Shui is all about. It's about following the energies of nature and the seasons. And so this new moon, when there's a new moon, there's this opportunity to plant seeds for what you want to call in the coming month as the moon kind of shines a light on your light and becomes life and becomes full itself. So this Friday, for me personally, I've decided that I am kind of re-feng shuiing everything. We've been through a lot of change and growth and loss this past year, personally as a family. And we've made a lot of changes in our house as that occurred. But one thing that I haven't done is change our feng shui cures. We've changed the layout. We've changed some of the decor. We had to because, my husband's working from home now. The kids are schooling from home a couple of days a week. And so we had to kind of quickly evolve the space to make it work for those new things that are going on in our life. So we have made changes in the space. But the thing that I haven't changed are the cures and the enhancements that I have in place. And so I'm really planning to use this new moon energy to plant some new seeds. I want to get really clear about what it is that I'm calling into my life in the coming years, coming months and coming years, and to go through and look at the cures, the feng shui cures that I have in place, and see if they need some shifting and some adjusting, or maybe there are some new symbols that I want to put in place, or maybe there are places that have gotten cluttered or haven't been paid attention to that I'm going to focus my energy on. The way that I do that is to think about the 9 life areas that we consider in Feng Shui. So those 9 areas that relate to the Bagua Map, the Feng Shui Bagua Map, which is an energetic map of your home. There's the career area, the wealth area, the love area, health area. There's 9 total areas, and I take a look at those 9 life areas and I think about, what's going on in those areas of my life right now, and do I feel fulfilled in all of them, and is there something else that I want to create or call in or shift or change in those different 9 life areas. That clarity right there in itself, that pause that you take to look at all 9 of those areas or all 9 of those parts of your life and assess them is huge. Just that action alone is powerful, and I don't think people take time in their lives to do this often enough. I, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I follow a lot of business owners and business coaches and entrepreneurs, and there's always this encouragement to assess your business and to reflect back on what's working and what's not working in terms of finances and schedule and all those things. But we forget to do it in our life and in our home. And so that's a big part of Feng Shui. That's one of the very first steps in Feng Shui, is knowing what you want, and getting really clear on what it is that you want to call into your life, or what you want to shift and change in your life. And then you go into your home and see what your home is telling you and reflecting back to you. And sometimes your home can actually be sending a completely opposite message. You may say you want to attract more wealth and abundance in your house, but actually there's a lot of things in your house that are holding you in the space of lack, or that block the energy from being able to flow in a beneficial financial way. So I like to use my home as a vision board, and I use that Feng Shui Bagua map to do that. Let's see. It's just powerful to take a look. Feng Shui is not a one and done thing. And I know even the clients that hire me to do this work probably think that they've done it. Maybe somebody moves into a house and they have Feng Shui'd their house when they first moved in. You are an evolving being, and you're changing all the time. And your energy, the energy that surrounds you and your house, need to evolve and change along with you. And so when you've been through big changes or big challenges, or when you've just grown and shifted, things like pandemics that make you aware of challenges you didn't even know were out there, it's a great opportunity to be aware that you probably want to change things up and look at things differently and revisit whether or not you're calling in what you want to call in, or even if the goals that you had set for your life, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago when you set the Feng Shui in place, are still the ones that you want to call energy in towards. Or maybe you have a new goal or a different aspiration. To me, my home is a vision board for what I want to attract. I create a vision board every year, but I also take a look and make sure that my home is kind of reflecting those things that I want to create in my life. And so this seasonal change right now, as we head from summer into autumn and autumn into winter, is a great time to just do that reflecting and pay attention to it. And the new moon is a really great time to harness the energy of the stars. And it's like a blank slate. So use that blank slate and think about it. You know, what do you want different? What do you want to change? And how, take a look through your space and how can you change things within your space to support what it is that you're wanting to create. I know for a fact, I've talked to so many of you over the last couple of months who are suddenly so much more aware of how your surroundings influence your energy, your mood, your, ability to succeed. We were all kind of forced into our homes, and we were forced to make our homes hold space for a lot more things than normal, or than the old normal anyway. And so I think we've all gotten a little dose of how important our surroundings are, and also a really good check-in with whether things as they are working or not. And you probably know if they're not working because you'll be arguing with your family all the time, or there'll be unrest or anxiety or tension, or just complete overwhelm. And so those are all signs that your home is not working, that the energy is not supporting you. And you can change it up. Like, that's what I love about Feng Shui, is when you're feeling that way, you can go look around and see what you can change up in your space, and you can get really deliberate about it and really pay attention to that. Let's see, what else do I want to share with you? I love the Bagua Map. It's such a great tool. It's really the tool that I started with. When I was introduced to Feng Shui, I just read a book about Feng Shui, and I was introduced to the Western Bagua Map, which is the Bagua Map that I use. Hi, Linda. Hi, Olga. Thank you guys for being here. It's the Bagua Map that I use. And when I figured out, first of all, when I figured out that I could break my life up into 9 life areas, it made it a lot easier to dream, and to figure out what it was that I wanted, and to know what was missing in my life or what parts I wasn't feeling fulfilled in. But then to know that there were parts of my home that could support those areas, or that I could use to call energy into those parts of my life where I wanted more fulfillment, was amazing. And as I worked with that Bagua Map and saw the changes happen, it blew my mind away. I'm still here 20 years later talking about this and trying to share this important tool, this empowering tool with others. And it's not because I want to make money, it's because it's so powerful. And I've seen it work for me, I've seen it work for clients, and I love sharing it. Bagua mapping sessions, I do have some available right now. So I was actually thinking of taking them off my calendar, but what I am going to do is keep them on my calendar, but they're available in a limited basis. So if you are curious about the energy map of your home and how to use your home as a vision board to help call in what you want and help use it as a way to create more wealth, or to support your relationship more, or to call in more health and well-being, to really use your home deliberately and to use Feng Shui deliberately, the Bagua Map is a great place to start. So I do have Feng Shui Bagua mapping sessions available. We'll take a look at your floor plan. The Bagua Map is different for everyone based on the layout of your house, and so we can get some really good clues into what's going on there. And it's a great starting point for Feng Shui. There's so much information about Feng Shui, but the Bagua Map is a great place to start. So if you are interested in scheduling a Bagua mapping session with me, reach out. I am going to change the pricing soon, but right now it's $127 for a Bagua mapping session. So I'll share the link to that at the end of the call. Let me see. I want to make sure, I had some notes here, and I just want to make sure I cover everything before I go. Oh, so here's something I wanted to say about the new moon. So this is actually a quote. Every new moon is an opportunity to start fresh. This new moon will press the restart button within you in a big way. So, and that quote is from Tanya Gabrielle, who is an astrologist and a numerologist. And she's definitely speaking specifically about this Libra, this new moon in Libra. Um, and, but it's so powerful. Like if you look at that energy that's going on astrologically and you harness it and you use it to support setting yourself up for the coming seasons, it can be really powerful. The other thing I want to say about season changes is, when this whole, I have to go really quickly, so I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. If you, when I look back to March, when COVID was happening and when we were going into lockdown, I was thinking in the back of my mind, thank goodness it's springtime and we're going into the warm season, the fire season, where we can get outside and at least go for walks and other things, and the weather isn't keeping us cocooned in. We're likely probably going to see some more lockdown situations, or some situations. We're still in this quarantine space to some degree, and we're heading into winter now. And so I just encourage you to embrace this energy of hibernating, of cocooning, of slowing down, of reflecting, and use your space to support that. Create cozy places. Think about what you'll want to do, since you won't be able to get together with friends or family over the holidays. Stock up on puzzles and books and reading and artwork and other things that can really fulfill you during this winter season, when we won't be able to have as much connection with some of our family and friends. Look ahead. That cabin fever that we get during the winter season is us resisting the natural flow of energies. So I just really want to encourage you to embrace it instead of fight it, and see how you can prepare for the coming winter and the coming season. And it will make your life flow with so much more ease. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in and listening in. I have to jump off quickly. I went overtime, but I will be back again next week, and I'll do some Q&A sessions with you then. Take care, everybody.